what exists after emotional death. At some point in life, every human being is forced to face the mirror of Scorpio. It reflects what the ego hides: repressed desires, deep fears, traumas, obsessions, and the unconscious need for control. Scorpio is the image of raw instinct and, at the same time, the spark of the soul's regenerative power. The first stage, the Scorpion. The Scorpion crawls upon the damp soil of dense emotions. It lives in the darkness of the unconscious, in the territory of jealousy, manipulation, revenge, and distrust. Its vital force manifests as defense. It stings so as not to be stung, hides so as not to be exposed, controls because it fears being dominated. Psychologically, this stage represents the human being still imprisoned by passion, driven by fear of loss and the hunger for power. It is the archetype of emotional survival, the one who prefers to destroy rather than be destroyed. Yet even in this abyss, there is a hidden purpose. It is here that the human being begins to perceive the power of emotion and the urgency to purify it. Pain, when understood, becomes the portal of initiation. The second stage, the Serpent. The serpent emerges when the Scorpion realizes that it no longer needs to attack to defend itself. It still crawls, but now it is conscious of its own venom. This is the stage of self-transformation. The individual begins to observe his reactions, to recognize his impulses, and gradually to master the power that once ruled him. The serpent sheds its skin. It leaves behind old identities, beliefs, addictions, and resentments. The process is painful because it requires dying to what once was. Yet through this shedding, true power is born, the power over oneself. Psychologically, this is the stage when emotion becomes wisdom, desire becomes creation, fear becomes perception. The energy that once destroyed now heals. The still water begins to move. The stagnant lake starts to receive the current of the river. The third stage, the ego. The ego represents the soul freed from the swamp. It no longer crawls, it flies. From above, it sees what once appeared as chaos and understands deaths and rebirths as parts of one single purpose. Psychologically, the ego is the human being who has learned to sublimate, no longer a prisoner of passion, but its master. Scorpionic energy transforms into spiritual perception, creative power, and the capacity to regenerate whatever it touches. The ego sees far. It dives when necessary, but always returns to the sky. It represents the triumph of spirit over emotional matter. The lake has become the ocean. The still water has merged with the movement of life. The Tetramorph and the transmuted Scorpio. In the vision of the Tetramorph, it is the ego that appears, not the Scorpion. This reveals that the true essence of this archetype is spiritual. When Scorpio ascends to the form of the ego, it joins the other fixed beings, the bull representing matter, the lion representing consciousness, and the man or Aquarius representing spirit. Together, they embody the four phases of human evolution: body, heart, soul, and higher mind. The presence of the ego among them proves that life reaches fullness only when inner death is understood as rebirth. The final mystery. The secret of Scorpio is simple and terrible. Everything that is not transformed destroys. Everything that is accepted and integrated liberates. When man stops fighting his shadows, he discovers they were always the path back to the light. The scorpion is the abyss. The serpent is the path. The ego is liberation. And in that silent flight, the human being discovers the true meaning of life. To die many times until he is born from himself.